Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are here today with another episode of Tarot Study Buddy. So on Tarot Study Buddy, you send me your personal readings that you are struggling to unpack, because from beginner to professional, we all know the hardest readings are the ones for ourselves, the ones we are emotionally attached to and are struggling to see the truth of the answers. Please like, comment, and subscribe, especially if this is your first time here. Hit that notification bell, and you will get to know whenever I have another new episode up. Tarot Study Buddy comes out on Wednesdays, and on Saturdays, we have Saturday night with Ask Aunty K. In between, I occasionally post other videos as I make them. So you can check me out at www.auntykstarot.com to book readings, sign up for Tarot Study Buddy, which is in the drop-down menu, and so much more. So we are going to get into this reading today. Let's look at it. So today's reading is an interesting case of struggling to see that the answers you are looking for and hoping for are actually there. And my friend has sent in a romance reading. They have a crush on another woman. They are both bi. My friend has had numerous queer relationships, and her crush hasn't had any yet, which is not uncommon amongst those of us who are bi. And it becomes a self-fulfilling thing where you haven't had a queer relationship yet, and so then other queer folks are nervous to have a relationship with you, and you get turned off by that. And my friend and her crush have had these conversations about this, and my friend has tried to be reassuring. Yes, I know what that feels like. I have come up across that, even though I'm somebody who primarily dates other women. I understand, I get it. But my friend is also worried about making a move to take this into a relationship, because she doesn't think her crush is actually interested at this time in pursuing a queer relationship. She thinks her friend has given up and has noted that her crush has only been looking online for relationships with men. And this has my friend feeling that maybe she's not interested in looking for a relationship with a woman. Maybe she's not interested in me. And I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go with this. I want to know what my crush feels about me. And so our friend has drawn how I feel about my crush, Page of Materials, or Pentacles. How does my crush feel about me, Queen of Voices or Swords? Where is this relationship at this moment? The Fool. How will my crush react if I make a move? The Lovers. And lastly, we have, what should I not do? What is holding me back? And we have the Sun. Now, one of the interesting parts about this is the shadow card is Eight of Voices. And in the Muse Tarot, the Eight of Voices talks really clearly about our inner voices of anxiety and worry. That inner voice that maybe she's not looking to date women. Maybe she's completely given up on women. Maybe she's not interested in women, which means that she's not interested in me. We have the Queen of Swords and the Page of Materials for each other. Keep in mind, this is how my friend sees her crush, and this is how her crush sees her. So in a lot of ways, this is the crush and this is the friend. So our friend sees her crush as dedicated, hardworking, focused on their education, earthy, sensual. no doubt. We see why you like her. And my friend sees that, her crush sees her as the Queen of Swords, who, is intellectual, intelligent. And she said, yeah, I can see her seeing me as those things. That's part of the basis of our friendship. Certainly, if she's dedicated to her schoolwork and you're intellectual, I can see that being a basis of your friendship. She says, but she sees me as cold and unemotional and just really driven towards what I care about and what I'm working on, and maybe doesn't think I have time for relationships. And what was the other thing? Cold and emotional. She saw the Queen of Swords as a symbol that this isn't somebody you're attracted to. I think a lot of us would argue with this. So let's get into that in a second. Okay, I've decided we're going to keep talking about these two here. Let's get this off the table. The Queen of Swords, by many counts, is sexy as fuck. This is a sexy ass queen. And she's passionate. This is a sexy, intelligent, passionate woman. And this is what she sees in you. Maybe you're not that, she's not seeing you as that nurtury, flowy, gentle cups woman, but you said you connected intellectually, and they're you see them as focused and driven on their schoolwork. So the chances are she is generally attracted to intelligence. I would say if you accurately see her as she is, as the page of whoops, sorry folks, as the page of materials or coins, then this is somebody who's going to value that, find that attractive, find that sexy. The page of coins is going to be attracted to the power and the successfulness that the Queen of Swords inhabits. All right, the page of materials. Part of why you see your crush as the page of materials and not the knight of materials is, or even the queen of materials, probably a different personality from what you're describing. The reason you see your crush as a page is your fears of her naiveness in having a queer relationship, that this would be new for her and outside of what she has done and experienced before. And Pentacles folks aren't necessarily the folks diving into something new. They tend to focus on what they know and on growing that. So we see your concerns. We see your concerns in this. Also, these two folks here are looking at each other in quite a beautiful way for a relationship reading. All right, we see them here. They're both looking at each other, and this is good in a relationship reading. We want these two looking at each other. You could have drawn them in this order. You could have drawn a different deck. You drew this deck, you drew them in this order, and they are facing each other in really beautiful ways. You are seeing here a lot of what you want, what we want to see. We are seeing here a lot of what you, my friend, want to see in this reading, and we're just going to help you see that, okay? Okay, so we're going to look at the cards down here. We have the Fool, where this relationship is currently at. This relationship is currently on the prefaces, my friend says, because I am considering jumping off a cliff and changing everything. Yeah, you are. And we hear your fear and your concern on this. It's also at the point of a new journey. I do wonder how long you and your friend have been friends. Has it been, only a year or two? A relatively new friendship at your ages? And with COVID, a newer friendship, there wouldn't have probably been a lot of time spent together in this past year and a half. So, in some ways, this would say that the relationship was always at the beginning. You've been approaching this cliff through the entire relationship. Otherwise, I think we would see the Wheel of Fortune here to say that the relationship was about to change because you were going to do something that pushed it over the edge and changed it. We see the Fool, that this is the beginning. You're still in the beginning phases of defining this. This hasn't been defined as platonic or romantic yet. It's up in the air for both of you. The Lovers. How will she react if I make the first move? The Lovers. She will consider this option and she will decide what is best for her, because she is the Page of Pentacles and she's really focused on, what she wants to do with her life and on her education. And so she will consider it and decide what is best for her. You drew the Lovers. At one point, my friend mentions there's no cups in this reading. You drew the Lovers. You drew the Fool about to jump off a cliff into the Lovers. Yes, the Lovers is about making the best choice for yourself. But you got the Lovers for how she will react if you make the first move. Yay! Everybody's cheering for you. Everybody's cheering for you. Everyone's like, you got the Lovers. Okay. My friend spent so much time making sure she didn't fall into the pitfalls of reading for ourselves that she's missing the truth. She's missing the truth of how much potential this relationship holds. This hasn't been defined in your crush's mind yet as platonic or non-platonic. It's not been defined as platonic or romantic. It's still potential. Because we have the Fool here and not the Wheel of Fortune. Your interpretation isn't wrong. It's just you're being actually overly objective, which I completely understand. But the Wheel of Fortune would symbolize that this relationship was at a point where it was about to change because you were pushing things over the edge and about to make that wheel turn into a new place where it who knows when it's going to stop turning, if you're going to land on the bottom or on top. The Fool is something new. And it hasn't been determined yet. It's the beginning of the journey. It's about to happen. And you're really approaching the edge of that cliff where you're going to decide if you're just going to sit down and have a nice platonic picnic there, or if you're going to jump in. What shouldn't I do? The Sun. So my friend sees this as suggesting that one of the things she should be careful not to do is to not burn too hot, too passionately, you know, don't overdo it. This interpretation really speaks to the fear that is the essence of this whole reading. I'm going to suggest that what not to do is in keeping with what's been going on so far. Don't sit around waiting for everything to perfectly align. Don't sit around waiting for the day where there's no clouds left in the sky and the day has reached perfection. Don't sit around praying and meditating on how you will respond and spark off this relationship when the perfect conditions arise. There is no perfect day. There is no day where everything perfectly aligns that now you can hit on her and it will go in a good way. It's going to go in a good way. It's going to go in a good way. This is what I want to see, and I'm probably also afraid to see. I've been known to do this. Do not sit around waiting for the perfect conditions. See them sitting around there? Yeah. Don't be sitting around waiting for the perfect conditions. You have the perfect conditions. The relationship hasn't been defined and boxed in your crush's mind as platonic or romantic yet. It's still on that cliff. And we see that they are going to react positively. It's the Lover's card. When you make a move. Because they see you as sexy and intelligent and passionate, mature, and you see them as hardworking and earthy and focused. This is a good combination. Focus wants intelligent, intelligent wants focus. This is a good combination. And it's not been defined yet. That, I think, is probably one of the most exciting aspects of this reading, is this combination here, and knowing that it's not been defined in your crush's mind yet. That this relationship is not yet defined. It has all the potential in the world for them still at this moment. Don't waste it. All right. So we saw a wonderful opportunity of a relationship, and we saw all the difficulties of the Eight of Swords or Voices analyzing this relationship, and afraid to see what they wanted to see. And this is certainly something that we can get stuck into. And you know, that Sun was a good clue in this, waiting for the waiting for the sky to clear in that perfect day, we see that right down into the question of I don't want to make that first move until the conditions are perfect, including knowing how they feel. I mean, you check to see what their relationships hopes were on Tinder. You want you're afraid of rejection, and we're all afraid of rejection, and your crush is afraid of rejection. Your crush is afraid to say, but I do want to date a woman. Otherwise, they wouldn't say I identify as bi. They would have changed their mind on that. Where they, it's a big cliff they're being asked to jump off and trust. They've been rejected more than you on this aspect, which is why you're both sitting in this situation. And so you need to be the one that doesn't reject them this time. And that is going to take a huge leap of faith, but that is what your crush is saying they are looking for. They don't want to take the risk again of saying, I'm here, I'm queer, and I want a queer girlfriend. Because they've been burned every time they said that. So they're telling you that. That's what these conversations are telling you. I'm afraid to take this risk again. You are going to need to take this risk. You are going to need to take that leap of faith and show me that you are not afraid of the fact that I haven't had a girlfriend yet. This is underlying both of you. And so that's the action you need to take. To me, this reading is a hugely positive reading that they are interested. Hugely positive reading that they are interested. The circumstances and the details say it too. It's just, that's really hard to read between her lines. It is. It's hard to read between her lines. It's probably hard to read between your lines. If you're the Queen of Swords, who's all confident as fuck, but hasn't initiated a relationship with her yet, because, Queen of Swords still has some fears. She's not letting anybody see them. So your crush can't see your fears. Your crush told you her fears. You didn't tell her your fears. So she can't read between your lines right now and see that you actually do have a crush and you're just afraid to take that leap like others were. And if she hasn't taken that leap yet, then she probably hasn't heard this conversation going on the inside before, of saying, I'm not afraid to date somebody because they haven't dated a woman before. I'm just afraid they are telling me they aren't interested. I mean, we've all heard that before. So, but she hasn't heard that before. So she hasn't heard and been told that she's giving off the wrong words, the wrong intent, the wrong energy, an energy of not being interested. She is interested. She's telling you she's afraid. So step up. Step up. All right. And that is the reading for today. I hope you subscribed. I hope you liked. If you wish to leave a comment, do keep in mind this is somebody's real life. And I hope we all see you here later. Please send in your readings so we can all, continue to have these wonderful readings to get into every week and all learn a little more, and I'll get to enjoy hearing a good reading. And you can fill that out at www.auntykstarot.com in the drop down menu for Tarot Study Buddy. Also, check out my bookings, sign up for the newsletter, and check out my Instagram. You can interact with me over there. See you around, folks.